it gives some of us heartbreak to hear this sad news. As honor that was given just few days, sworn in.
And President Tinubu just bought a big jet for himself.
Yeah.
The first way to cut cost of governance is to cut that jet off.
It doesn't matter who you put there. Put an Einstein there, he will still fail.
Significant experience within that province to be able to discharge it properly.
My view is this, that there are fundamentals that the president ought to have taken into consideration even before.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News, Gist and Blog. Some of you are saying, oh, it's more than a year plus now. TINUBU is doing nothing. TINUBU is just there to embezzle Nigerian money. TINUBU is just appointing people that are not capable to rule Nigeria. TINUBU ministerial lists are full of nuisance. I was like, give that man accolade. Finally, TINUBU have done what no other president in the entire universe have done. For him to prove to Nigeria that is working, he decided at least to do this. I want you guys to watch this particular video.
Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's directive to ministers and heads of federal government agencies to reduce the number of vehicles in their convoy to 3. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bianca Ojukwu, made the announcement in a statement on Thursday, saying that the directive is part of measures to cut the cost of governance. Let me read a part of his tweet. Bianca Ojukwu wrote on X, the cost-cutting measure was announced today in a statement signed by the president. In January this year, President Tinubu took significant steps to reduce government expenditure by reducing his entourage on foreign trips from 50 to 20 officials. For local trips, he reduced it to 25 officials. He similarly reduced the vice president's entourage to 5 officials on foreign trips and 15 for local trips. In the directive issued today, President Tinubu also ordered all ministers of state and heads of agencies to have at most 5 security personnel attached to them. The security team will comprise 4 police officers and 1 Department of State service officer. No additional security personnel will be assigned, he ordered. President Tinubu instructed the National Security Advisor to engage with the military, paramilitary, and security agencies to determine a suitable reduction in their vehicle and security personnel deployment. All right, let's take some reactions from users on X. This is from Akin, who wrote, this may be a good beginning if the following are equally reduced. 1. Number of trips out of the capital. 2. Unnecessary workshop that doesn't add to national efficiency. 3. Balanced budget to discourage borrowing. 4. CBN governor should have a limit to what he can buy. 10 billion naira for official cars should be investigated. 5. Office of the First Lady should be scrapped immediately. 6. All contracts must be procured by our rules. Variations should be declared illegal. 7. Wike should show respect to every Nigerian. 8. The president should cut his trips. I mean, that was so funny. Not as funny, given that Wike only last week told people to shut up if you think you know something. Then let me take another tweet. This person wrote, let's give a resounding round of applause to our dear President Tinubu for his cost-cutting measure he just announced. I love President Tinubu. What about you? Another Twitter user, Gutson, he wrote, my question is, what benefit would this reduction in cost of governance have on ordinary Nigerians? There is nothing to applaud the president for. Nigeria is in a state of nowhere. Fix that 89% of Nigerians can barely feed because of the high cost of foodstuff. Fix that. Dr. Abatia, you want to speak on this story?
Okay, very quickly. It's interesting that the presidency is now talking about reducing the cost of governance. Almost 2 days after that, the president himself further bloated the size of government. We had previously 45 ministers. By your own calculation yesterday, and by other people's calculation, we now have 48, which means the bureaucracy gets more bloated. Number two, we've been talking about the Oronsanye report, which recommended a leaner government. The TINUBU government at the time said they were going to deal with that report and implement it. This is almost the end of 2024. Nothing has been done. What we've been seeing, it's just cosmetic gestures. In January, the president said, he will reduce the number of entourage. But the same president has traveled 29 times in 17 months. The vice president has traveled 17 times in 17 months. It will have become 19, I think, if he had gone to Samoa, except that the windshield of the aircraft, was said to have been damaged in New York. I don't know how that could have happened. But, we have enough aircraft in the field. They could have sent him another aircraft in any case. But they say somebody else, one Mr. Lawal, will now go to Samoa, where an important conversation is taking place. But I digress. Now, again, in 2003, the Obasanjo administration addressed this issue of cost of governance by introducing a monetization policy. Under the monetization policy, things like civil servant, domestic servant allowance, medical allowance, housing allowance, vehicle utility allowance, and all these allowances were monetized and put into the, the salaries of public officials. For persons above level 8, from level 8 and above, 200% of annual salary. The question to ask is, what happened to monetization policy? Because the statement by Mr. Ononuga is saying, a minister cannot go about with more than 3 vehicles. Who is providing those vehicles? Is it not covered by monetization policy? Has the monetization policy of Nigeria, has it been abandoned? And then security personnel, 4 policemen, 1 DSS detail. Okay, maybe because these are persons of interest, VIP movement. But those vehicles, who is maintaining them? Money was even provided for vehicle loan and for fuel under monetization policy. I think that is a bigger issue, added to the other issue about, how to have a lean government. The TINUBU government keeps getting fatter and fatter, and yet we get this occasional thing about cosmetic gestures, about reducing the cost of governance. No, they are not reducing the cost of governance. I will believe that they are reducing the cost of governance when senators and House of Reps members stop going about in long convoys, and the president comes to Lagos and he himself uses just 3 cars.
Show by example.
And we don't see any long convoy.
Fantastic, fantastic, Dr. Abati. You cannot be more correct. Lead by example. Rufi.
So Dr. Abati here always tells a story of when they went to the Netherlands to meet, it was Mark Rutte then, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. I want everybody watching me out there to please check the GDP of the Netherlands. And the Prime Minister was riding a bicycle. And also, please check the GDP of Nigeria. And President Tinubu just bought a big jet for himself. The first way to cut cost of governance is to cut that jet off. That plane is too big, Oji. The government has not given us in calculative cost how much it costs to fuel that jet for every trip it takes. We need to be able to get to the end of that matter. Secondly, we've talked about how bloated the cabinet is. But even some decisions, bringing about a livestock ministry, which should be normally under the agricultural ministry.
We've talked about it. Under agriculture,
and you are trying to subsume a Niger Delta ministry, which is the key productive part of this country. Most of the forex of this country come from that Niger Delta ministry. So you wonder how we're thinking. And most of the hitherto cuts that they've made in government, how has it changed anything? Did they even follow the cuts? The office of the First Lady, the other day, she was telling porkies by saying that, nothing comes to our office. But we found out that it was all porkies, that over billions were allocated for her to buy cars. Also, all sorts of government shenanigans, projects and everything. Recently, we brought out a stat that says how many billion was spent on getting visas for government officials.
That's what
the true cost of government, cutting cost of government starts with President Tinubu. he needs to cost his cost.
Yes.
All the money that comes to the presidency need to be slashed in half.
Yep.
President TINUBU, you and your wife said you were rich already. Take up some of these bills. Right. The same president that his son was using presidential jets, wasn't it?
I saw that video. Yeah, I mean, talking about the visa story.
Use personal money to run Nigeria.
Yes. Well,
I'm not saying you should use his personal money. No. I'm saying because of your own personal money, cut some of these luxurious costs. We can't afford your lifestyle. We knew you were already rich before. You had your own private jet before you came to be president of Nigeria. We're saying cut your own lifestyle. We can't afford your luxuries.
Rufai, talking about the private jet, somebody just sent me a video of the Singaporean PM, Lawrence Wong, traveling on a commercial flight after state protocols. But I mean, I know that it's going to be a huge, far-fetched idea for Nigeria for now, for using, I mean, commercial.
British PM flies British Airways.
British Airways. Yes. This is the Singaporean PM flying commercial. But I mean,
sell off that big jet. Call the likes of Airpeace or other Nigerian airlines. Tell them to allot one jet that you can use for your foreign travels. Sell off that big jet. It's too costly, too expensive for us.
Now, I don't know why I like Rufai Oseni. I like Rufai Oseni so well. At least he's the man of the truth. Recently, the Nigerian Senate are having a serious debate on how to increase their salary from 14 million down to either 20-something million or 50 million, as the case may be. 14 million, which is the minimum wages for senators in Nigeria, they are saying it is no longer enough because they have a lot of responsibilities that they are doing with the money, that they need an increment because of the hardship that is troubling or before Nigerians. People are now saying 14 million per person is not enough. Why you guys are deliberating that you cannot increase the salary of a civil servant more than 70,000 naira? Remember, your duty is to sit down in the Sheba and just argue with constitution and all this. Yeah, have it, nay, have it, yeah, have it. That is your job. You don't do any hard work or any other thing just to argue. You read constitution, same day, same time, you just, that's your job. But the civil servants, like that of the security agencies that endanger themselves to secure the nation, or other civil servants that are laboring to ensure that the country economy is boosted, those ones, you said that their minimum wages is 70,000. They cannot earn more than that. But you yourself are saying you are doing nothing. You are saying you are receiving 14 million, and you said it's not enough. With those allowance of having a standard car, a good house, and wardrobe allowance, and all those things, you are still saying it's not enough. That is the greed of Nigeria. Any president that really wants to work for Nigerians will have to cut the cost of those Senate and make it less attractive for those people, because most of them that are going in for that position are going in to feed their stomach. Well, after a lot of stress saying, oh, TINUBU is not working, TINUBU is just so biased, TINUBU is full of tribalism and bigotries, TINUBU decided to come out and prove to Nigeria that I'm not that kind of person that you people think that I am. I'm a different person. Forget that I said, oh, be importer, exporter. Now, you know what your president did? Do you know what your president did recently? He decided to make Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, the late Mr. Ojukwu of the Biafra wife, he decided to make her the new Minister of State of Foreign Affairs. I wanted to clap, but I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
Well, also, reactions have also trailed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's appointment of Bianca Ojukwu, widow of the late Biafra leader, Bianca Ojukwu, as the new Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. Bianca, who was born to a former governor of the old Anambra State, Christian Ono, has had an illustrious diplomatic career, serving as Nigeria's ambassador to Spain from 2012 to 2015, and as the country's permanent representative to the UN Tourism Organization. She has also held key positions in various national committees and has received several awards for her contributions to diplomacy, business, and charity. Despite her achievements, a cross-section of Nigerians have expressed the view that her appointment may be political. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Dikbo, who wrote, President TINUBU used one stone to kill 3 birds with the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu. She has held a similar role previously and did a decent job. Second, this should further unite the country. Third, it might win some folks on his side. From her zone, I wish her luck. Well, legendary Joe wrote, the beauty queen, diplomat, lawyer, business mogul, politician, and now Minister of Foreign Affairs State, Bianca Olivia Ojukwu. When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu goes hunting for partners in nation building, he doesn't see tribe, ethnicity, religion, or gender. Round pegs in round holes. Period. Queen Bianca may have been denied the opportunity to serve upon the soil she called home, despite sharing their tongue and being wife to their greatest son of the soil and having their children. But Asiwaju is totally blind to such sentiments and will go for the best regardless of differences, a true hallmark of a leader. Congrats, Queen, your capacity is not in doubt. Well, Dr. Bati, over to you on the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu.
Very quickly, I mean, I said earlier on this same program that if you look at her CV, because sometimes when you want to appoint people, you look at their CV. She has a degree 2006 in international relations and diplomacy. She has worked as a senior special assistant on diaspora affairs.
Yes.
I think she's also been high commissioner to Ghana. She's also been ambassador to Spain. So she has very important experience in that field.
Yeah.
It's not as if she's coming newly into foreign affairs. The second point to be made is that many people commenting on this, they're saying, oh, it's because she's Mrs. Ojukwu. No, oftentimes we're unfair to people. You know, it's not, people don't always, I know some people get appointments because of the politics of proximity, but the question you ask is, are they qualified? Do they have relevant experience? And I think that in the case of Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, the answer is yes. Now, number three is that appointment is a very strategic one at a time when Nigeria is trying to engage the world.
Yes.
And I was trying to explain that portfolio. That in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have the Minister of Foreign Affairs. When he has a Minister of State, in terms of division of labor, the Minister of Foreign Affairs focuses more on the bigger things. But the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, at least in our time, you know, the main assignment is to look at things like ECOWAS, look at African Union, look at all these development organizations with which Nigeria has relations at a multilateral level. So it's a lot of work. And you need some significant experience within that province to be able to discharge it properly. So I think that the onus now, the ball is in the court of Mrs. Ojukwu to prove herself, to prove those skeptics who say, oh, it's because she's Mrs. Ojukwu, and to let them know that, no, it's not Mrs. Ojukwu. This is Bianca Ojukwu, who just happens to be Ojukwu's wife.
Now, like they said, it is political, because I don't say anything about that, because that woman will waiting to do to her husband, doing all of this will not even make anything right. Because I know they are trying to prove to Nigerians that, you see, we are carrying Igbo people along. That is not the best way to carry them along. The best way to carry them along is that referendum that they say they want. But I'm not saying that they should separate out of Nigeria. That's, I know it will be difficult, because if they do, it will be doomed for Nigeria. Because they themselves, within the space of 5 years, the Igbo land, which is Biafra land, will become like a Dubai that all Nigerians will be seeking asylum from. So I don't even pray that they should give them that. I don't know if any Igbo man is watching this video, they will be angry. Igbo kwenu hey! Igbo kwenu hey! Igbo kwenu hey! Me, Anuma Biani Igbo. Because immediately do people get that referendum and have Biafra land, me personally, I will come and seek asylum there and reside there and live my life there, because I know definitely that place will become the Dubai of Africa. I love you guys, so this is where I'm going to be ending the video today. And I want you guys to watch this particular video of Senator Abiribe, what he said about all of this, and we'll be right back to do some messages to it.
And sometimes when I discuss with my friends in the administration, the first thing they ask me, you Igbos, what do you want? I want to tell everyone, what do the Igbos want? Fairness and equity, which is in the Constitution. That's all that we want. Treat us as you're treating everybody else. The Igbo ethos is Egbe bere, ugo bere. Let the hawk and the eagle perch. Let no one oppress the other. Every Igbo person is imbued inside us. So anytime that an Igbo person sees that you're not treating him fairly, they come out. And so for the Southeast, as far as they are concerned, okay, you can change, but like the French say, plus ça change, plus ça même chose. The more things change, the more they remain the same.
Right. So basically, your assessment is that the Southeast has been shortchanged in this latest
From beginning.
Right.
From beginning. Okay. What does the Constitution say? The Constitution says that you have to have one minister per state. Now, from the Obasanjo government, they started having 42 because they have one for zone. But even President Buhari, that did not, as far as we know, have any empathy for the Southeast, still gave one more minister to the Southeast. And so, but what do we have today? Just that 5 for the 5 states of the Southeast. So, when our people say this is renewed shege, that means that we're even worse off than we were before now. And so if you're just going to give us only that thing that the Constitution stipulates for us, yet some zones, there are 6, have 10 ministers, some have 9, some have 7. You want to ask yourself, is it fair? Is it just? Is it equitable? If it's not, then if you now tell us, okay, you're doing well for us, we'll wait for tomorrow. As far as the Southeast is concerned, it's waiting for Godot. That the problem is the cabinet. That is my own view. My view is this, that there are fundamentals that the president ought to have taken into consideration even before you constitute your cabinet and you decide this is your economic direction. Failure to deal with those fundamentals is where we are. So it doesn't matter who you put there. Put an Einstein there, he will still fail. And what are the fundamentals? First, we're a poor country, very poor, with massive debt overhang. What do you do when you're poor? When you come in and then you have to do something. The first thing you do is you cut your coat according to your size. But we came in, and the first thing is you bloat your cabinet, which means that the cost of governance is not going down. Everybody in this country expected that you should be able to shrink according to, even if you don't do everything, but at least. But now you have a runaway cost of governance. Everything is being given to everybody free of charge. We are buying new play. We are doing all that. What do you expect? Those things must be paid for. What does the man on the street see? He sees you living in extravagance.
That includes you?
Of course it includes me.
Okay.
Yes. He sees you living, he sees you enjoying, and you're telling him things are getting rougher, and he's seeing inflation, he's seeing a cost of fuel, he's seeing the cost of electricity. So what do you expect? All you're going to get on the street is mass anger. So that is the first one. That's the fundamental. What's the second fundamental? So the president is firing every minister. He didn't fire the Minister of Petroleum. Why? Because what is the fundamental thing that we used to have foreign exchange? It's just how much oil we can produce. And so that should have been your very, very focus to say, how do we increase the quantum of oil that we produce so that, first of all, we pay off all the debts that have been borrowed by the previous government. And by the way, an irony here is that this was also an APC government that brought us to this point. And then we have another APC government coming, and that APC government is pretending that that was not part of its history. You see what I'm saying? So that fundamental, the second one, what are those things that we ought to do? You should deal with that. So when you leave all that, bring in 100 ministers, let them also be running around. What are they going to do? Essentially, once you're doing production of oil that is less than 2.3, 2.5, you're not going to do much. So you fall back to what? To debt. And then you borrow. And then you go on at the same time to say, I'm going to do massive works. Oh, I'm going to do Calabar to Lagos, Lagos to... Those things are very nice and very... But funded with what?
Now, people are saying that Igbos are marginalized. All they want is just fairness and equity, whereby all Nigerians are treated as equal, not them treated as a separatist. The only thing the president could ever think of is to take Ojukwu wife, and said, okay, let me make her the new Minister of State of Foreign Affairs. Maybe by then Igbo people will be clapping for me. Whereby he still keep Nnamdi Kanu in custody. All right, guys, this is where we are going to be ending the video today. I don't want to expatiate or elaborate about what Senator Aberibe said. You heard what he said. According to him, that all what the Igbo people want is just fairness and equity. They just want to live equally like other Nigerians, enjoy all privileges like other Nigerians. Not this by buying each other. They are tired of it. You know, if you want the Igbos to have peace, like the Southeast to have peace, please release Nnamdi Kanu for them, so that they will not have any other cause to be doing all this havoc, sit at home, all these things they are doing, no election, buying each other. For me, it doesn't really make sense. And those people that are doing it, I don't see why people stick so low in their head that they don't think rightfully. You are angry for the president, you are angry for the state governor, you are angry for political elites, but you pour your anger on the common indigenous, the citizens, the poor people like you pour your anger on them, thinking that buying them will make those presidents, those people sitting in Aso Rock, or those people sitting in the state house be angry. It doesn't really make sense. Or it's just like when police arrested my person unlawfully, I'm angry for the policeman, then I come to your house and be buying people and say, I want to give policeman a job so that they will be investigating or thinking that there's no police in this town. I'll be buying innocent people. I leave police station. I leave police checkpoint. The only thing that is coming to my head is going to the street buying innocent people because I want to prove to the Nigerian police that I'm angry. It doesn't really make sense. You cannot be angry of the police, or you are angry of the military. You are angry of the people in Aso Rock or the people in the state house. All you can think in your mental head is to go to polling units and be buying innocent people because you tell them nobody should vote, or is to go to primary school and be buying innocent people because you told them to sit at home, they went to school to learn. It doesn't really make sense. If you're angry, you want to prove that you are really angry, go Aso Rock. If you are really angry, go to House of Assembly, go to Senate House, go to Government House. This is how you pour your anger. Or go to Army Barrack, as the case may be. But you people will not go there. Boko Haram is angry, you go to innocents. So go to farmers and be buying innocent people. Fulani men are hungry, go to farmers and buy innocent people. Or no government are angry, they go to innocent people in their houses and in the street and buy innocent people. Why are Nigerians suffering from the mistake of their leaders? Me, I don't know. It's just like seeing somebody like thief, kidnapper, or all these armed robbers. You said there is hardship in Nigerians. All you could ever think in your head, you didn't go to bank, you didn't go to government house, those people, you didn't go to where you know that this government are the ones putting you in that abject poverty. You went straight to like individual houses. Common Nigeria that is also struggling to make hands for their life. You just went to their house, bust their door, give me your money, give me your money. If you don't give me your money, I'll buy you. You don't want to give me your money, you choose your money over your life. Wah, wah, wah. You don't want to give me money? Nah, bufan. If the money is so easy to make, why you not go also? Everybody is feeling this heat. Stop these things that you are doing. When I heard the story yesterday, how somebody narrated what literally happened to their person, I almost cried. Like, why would somebody stick so low? You don't wake up in the night. You just stay awake in the middle of night, go block people for road. They obtain their phones. They take their things. Same people like you that are also feeling the heat of Nigeria. So you felt like you cannot work, you cannot also, you cannot do anything. You own to go wait for people for street. Go, they obtain them. They feel like, say, you are rugged. It's because that the government are not really working. If there's a severe punishment for it, I don't think most of you will be doing it. That if you are caught, it's sentenced to death. That would be the best penalty. If you are caught with gun, anyone caught with gun, minimum is 25 years imprisonment. At least it will reduce crime. But the government will not do it. They will not do it. Anyway, this is where we're going to be ending the video today. I love you guys. Remember, God love you more. And if you love me, the only way you can show your love to me is to like this video, comment your thoughts about this video. What do you think about this particular video on how the president thought is working, embezzling, giving his wife and his family money? They are enjoying Nigeria wealth and they are saying they are cutting the cost of living for the common Nigerians. If you are eating 3 square meals, they are helping you to cut it to 1 square meal, but they themselves, they are feasting, they are enjoying, they are traveling. Just imagine a president within the space of 1 year in office have traveled almost 19 times. And his vice have traveled 17 times. His wife, oh, that one just party. That one just the true party they enjoy. Anyway, I rest my case. I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section. I love you guys. Remember, God love you more. Until we meet again. Peace out.
Well, I think that what is going on is not obedience. What is going on is fear. People are saying, I don't want to be killed. And so because of that, because they do not know where whoever hoodlum on the street will come out and say, oh, you don't want to disobey. Because what has happened now is that all the purveyors of violence, all the criminals, all the hoodlums, all the people that kidnap everybody, are suddenly become IPOB. So every little thing you catch, oh, we're IPOB, we're doing that. And they take this type of thing. And then people just simply see that because they're not going to get enough protection, there's no way police or army can cover everywhere. And so what they do is simple. They wait, and when there's a vulnerable place, they just run in there, and then they shoot 1 or 2 people, and then they run away. And you don't want to be the person. So it's not compliance. It is fear.
Right.
That's all.